Morning. Good morning.
So what is it? Week 7?
Week 7,
October
21st.
Yeah.
I was guessing.
Yeah. 10 more days till Halloween. You got a costume ready?
Fuck no.
I wore pajamas, I think, last year. People were like, what are you? And I was like, comfortable. Dressed up as comfortable.
I usually just wear my postman shirt.
No, that's a good one.
Well, I got hoodies, so I'm gonna get a fucking gallon of Arizona iced tea and a large bag of Skittles and go with fucking healthy Trayvon.
Trayvon Martin.
I can go as Zimmerman.
No, I'll go as Zimmerman. You go as the cop.
Was there a cop?
No, but the cop was like, oh, he didn't do anything wrong.
Oh, well. In local news, speaking of cops and bad things, there's the double murder in Mason County this week.
Oh, in Belfair trailer. Yeah, I saw that.
It wasn't a murder-suicide, I don't think, right?
I don't think
I don't
so.
think the details
Hasn't come out yet. But this crazy shit was the 6-year-old came home and found it.
Oh, damn.
got off the bus and went to the house, saw it, went to the neighbors. The neighbors came over and said it was a gruesome scene and called the police.
Jesus.
So this kid's hurting for sure.
Yeah.
It's a stepdad. Or not even dad, it was a man she was living with.
That killed him?
They don't know.
No,
that was never
yeah,
dated.
it was his mom,
And then-
and the guy.
So not to come up with any,
That was Pops.
yeah.
Yeah, or drug deal gone wrong.
Yeah,
Trailer
something,
park
probably
in Shelton,
something on his
Philadelphia.
side. Probably
Yeah.
something on his side
That
gone
would-
wrong.
Well, oftentimes the women who are victims of the drug dealer or whatever, they know what the fuck's going on
They do.
too. So
Well, luckily for the kid, he's alive still, even though it's going to be a horrible rest
Yeah.
of his life.
Well,
6 is probably better than 16
It's tough, man.
because there's still.
but yeah, that's horrible. For sure.
6. God.
Yeah.
That kid's gonna be fucking Batman.
Yeah. Yeah.
Watch, he will. He'll save the world somehow one day.
He's
Maybe.
gonna find that guy whether
He's going to fix climate change.
What else has happened in the news in the world today?
Let's see here. Trump is making. He's mentioned something about how the mayor or whatever body slammed
Yeah.
a reporter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Trump was giving him praise, like, that's my kind of guy. After the Saudi
Yeah.
reporter just got killed,
Yeah.
and now there's heat from that, and now Trump is saying someone who would body slam a reporter is my kind of guy. Like, what the fuck, man?
Yeah.
Like, how is it?
How low can you go?
How well, not just that, but when I think of stuff like that, I think, why is Trump immune to shaming and public humiliation like everybody else is getting?
Because he's figured people out. Like, people are fucking simple fucking idiots. And he says this shit at his fucking rallies, and they just fucking slap their fucking goddamn fins together. And that's
People
pretty
like
much
it.
it. They love it. And they're like, yeah, you
I
fucking...
get that.
You heard him.
I'm
Yeah.
saying from the opposite side, the opposing
Oh, they
side.
are
They could,
criticizing it.
yeah, but
incredibly,
they've destroyed
what
so
can
many
you do?
people. They've destroyed so many people, rightfully so.
Who has?
Roseanne. I mean, the liberals, the far left.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, whatever.
they publicly shame and criticize people for doing one little slip up, but somehow Trump can come up with all
No,
this
but
bullshit.
they are attacking him. But there's nothing. I mean, there's just no one above him that can fire him. I mean, when you're the boss of the world, there's nobody else above you.
And I also too feel like, especially with politics nowadays, I feel like most of the people on the fucking left have kind of ruined their brand with shaming a lot of like large politicians and stuff, i.e. the president.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, I'm gonna call it a spade. They complain about fucking everything. That now that the Republicans have become so emboldened, and they're like, "Fuck you! I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
I don't feel ashamed anymore. Go to hell." MAGA, like we're gonna keep on trucking,
Can't shame the shameless.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, I didn't watch all of Kanye's spiel at the White House, but enough to realize how warped this whole thing is.
I wish I was better at video editing, because in my mind, when I was watching that video of Kanye talking to the president's just sitting back going like this, and Kanye's like doing this, saying shit. but the words that Kanye is using are so vague and simple words. Like, Trump does the same thing. Like, he has the vocabulary of a fifth grader, basically, when you hear him speak.
Yeah.
So when Trump was like this, like listening to him, in my mind I was like, I want a little caption box of what's in his mind right now. Like, hey, this is my guy. He uses small, simple words like me.
Yeah. He's got a big brain. The big list.
We need to make the country good so stuff can be better.
Yeah,
You know?
exactly. Like, there was really nothing with any meat. I don't know. It's just, you could say anything at that point in time. It reminds me of people that use Facebook. Like, you have a platform to say anything to all your friends. You could change the world. You can make positive effects on people. But
And
instead
this is what you say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is what you say. This is what you do.
Yep.
Anyway. What else is going on?
Uh,
Kind of a slow week, huh?
Well, a lot has been on this Khashoggi guy, you know.
the reporter that got killed
Yeah.
in the embassy. Oh, and there's more that I'm hearing about that too. Like the ambassador, like resigned her position like a week before it happened, and then it happened, and then it wasn't reported until like a week after it happened. So there's a whole bunch of gray area where there's behind the scenes stuff happening.
And I didn't get time to read the article, but I saw a headline that said that the prince got promoted.
The prince got promoted.
Yeah.
Oh,
The guy
you
who's
go
under
to
fire.
Prince. You go to king, right?
I don't know how it was.
Something, but it
There's all
sounded
these
like they
princes.
were promoting him to some different role to help protect him from any kind of punishment. So back to the Trump thing, I guess the higher you are,
Yeah.
if your dad is the only one you have to worry about laying down any kind of punishment, you should be fine.
Well, you know, in some regards, Trump's right that, you know, if we don't sell him $100 billion worth of military supplies, the Chinese or the Russians are. You know?
Yeah.
So it's like, they're going to get them anyways.
Yeah, and then you see guns getting used against us.
Right, and so, you know, we're fighting these proxy wars through Saudi Arabia against Russian proxies. So it's like, if you arm them, then they wouldn't fight against themselves. It would just be a collapse of
Yemen, for example.
I think the key to keeping people out of our country is to make other people's country better. Like,
Where
for
did that
exa-
come from?
Well, I'm just thinking about like
How
how
to
the
keep
fucking-
people out of here.
Like, you just segued real quick to that
Yeah, really.
caravan
Well,
of people.
it was kind of
Oh, yeah,
rough.
that's right. There is a caravan coming up to America. And Trump said he was going to bring the military out.
Light them up.
Well, I felt bad for them because, you know, they're not. Well, obviously, everybody in the caravan isn't a fucking bad person, but they're not doing it in a good way coming up here. They hit the fucking southern wall of the Mexican border, and they ripped the goddamn fence down.
Well,
and kept on fucking marching.
You know, yeah, I think you have to understand the history of these places first of all. You know, so I mean, step back just less than 100 years ago, 50 years ago, that we set up a government in Guatemala and in San Salvador and these countries, Central America, and their corrupt puppet dictators, you know, have hit squads, and they ran cocaine and shit, and these families and communities that didn't agree with them were killed. So they're like, well, fuck, we got to get out of here. Where are we going to go? We're going to get killed if we either deal drugs and get involved with the gang life or the corruption, or you leave. Because you can't be a simple farmer. You're paying taxes to everyone.
Well, the reason why we even put those places there was because we were the Cold War, right?
That's right, yeah. So it's the same shit that we're doing with Saudi Arabia, that we have to develop these things. And so what you're right about is that Mexico, for example, has a lot less or fewer immigrants coming to our country because their economy is getting better. And they're seeing that if they don't work on their social structures of corruption or whatever, then we're going to put sanctions on their stuff. Especially with Trump, he's like, you know, we're going to close borders, you know. He's already changed NAFTA, he's got rid of that. So these people are running away from shit.
Yeah.
And that we started.
Yeah.
Yeah, I understand what I believe in. I was just saying, like, freaking, you know, the look of them going to Mexico and then ripping out their wall is kind of, it's kind of freaking, giving Americans more reason to freaking be like, yo, fucking
Yeah.
don't let them in here, don't offer them asylum and stuff, you
Yeah.
know. because it makes them all look bad, you know, as a whole, you know.
You know, the wall's a huge project, obviously.
Or
It's
the
super
fucking
expensive.
fence that they ripped
But
out.
that famous picture that they're showing of that caravan, they're crossing this bridge.
Mhm.
So how much could a little C4 cost? Oh, another coming. You know, shit.
Get that shit on film.
Yeah.
See, I told you you should
That'll be
run
deterrent.
told you should have plugged the office. Senator,
You know how many people would actually vote for that? And I
Just
slap
fucking
them
blow the
down?
goddamn bridge up. Shit. Just see him walking. Fuck.
Like, don't we have these things called drones? I mean, we use them all over the world.
Yeah, no,
That's why with the drone strike there.
They work on civilians. They'll work on bridges
Oh,
too.
God, that's horrible.
Well, obviously Saudi Arabia is a powerhouse country now. If Trump's going to come in and make that deal with them, and it's scary because now that they're being pressured for this murder of this journalist or whatever, what's going to end up happening is people are going to back out of their deals with them, and they already have. They've already started to do that, which means that in order for them to keep their financial or economic powerhouse on their oil and whatever else they got, they're going to have to sell it more desperately because people are jumping off the bandwagon, which means it's going to start falling into the hands of worse people that are willing to do work with Saudi Arabia. They've always been known to be shady, always.
Yeah, of course. I mean, they execute people with
Yeah.
samurais or whatever their swords are called.
So it's a little disconcerting because
Scimitars.
They buy them from
if America backs out of this New Deal or remodifies it and all these other countries drop out, Saudi Arabia is going to be forced to start selling for cheaper to to terrorist organizations probably.
Well, and you know, you're right that the Cold War did start the
Bases
Central
and
America
stuff, yeah.
stuff that we're doing there, and same with Saudi. But and you see what's going on in Venezuela, where their economy's gone tank because the oil prices dipped and all their social programs went to shit, and we're threatening to take over their country. You know, it's like if we don't do it, as Trump says wisely, the Chinese are. They already have these huge debts to China, so they're just like, yeah, we'll keep it socialist and we'll come in.
It's
and
almost
run
like a fucking board game.
it is. Oh,
you know?
yeah, it is.
And it almost seems like if you want to have less pressure on the U.S., U.S. needs to go around and try to find ways to make these economies in other countries do well.
Mm-hmm.
Get them running water, get them some kind of like economy built up. And then
Well, that's what we're doing. I mean,
Kinda.
we provide a lot of financial aid to every country, you know, and if they're not following our rules, then we put sanctions on them. And you know, Jimmy Carter is against those sanctions because eventually those governments are just going to use the money for corruption anyways. North Korea is the main thing. You know, put these huge food sanctions on them, and it's just killing their people. So that doesn't help.
Oh, their economy start doing good, so then the terrorists come in and take over and pillage everything. So I guess there's always that. But
Well, who we got for football this week? We got. Oh well, let's go baseball first. There's
okay, so we got a World Series figured out. Dodgers, Red Sox.
Yeah, I'm going with Dodgers.
Going with the Red Sox.
You are?
Yeah, the Dodgers are just too cocky of an organization.
Oh yeah, really?
Yeah.
Compared to Boston?
Well, Boston has their history, but
Yeah,
this
listen.
team.
Yeah, everybody's walking around with Dodgers jackets on.
I'm going off this year, but I'm just saying the players like Puig,
Oh, I see.
like the bat flip and fucking not hustling all the time and complaining and bitching and moaning. I mean, it's just the organization. I don't know. I just don't like the way baseball is usually a little more professional.
Yeah, I don't really give a fuck.
But they are Cuban, and I guess they have a flair for baseball of some sort, where they just have a passion, I guess, that's unmatched to any American baseball. But
I just hate all fucking goddamn northeastern fucking teams,
yeah, that's true.
and also like
Just that part of the country in
Fuck the
general.
Eagles.
They're
fuck the
fucking
Patriots,
assholes, man.
Fuck the Giants.
They
fuck
are,
the
man. They're
Jets,
fucking
Fuck
assholes.
the Ravens.
No, he's talking about everybody, not just the teams. It's just like-
Northeast, yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, the people too.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. They're fucking
That's what I'm saying.
You ever take the subway from Boston to New York?
Yeah,
Fuck,
no
man.
doubt.
Fucking assholes.
I almost got to a fight with a lady because I was wearing a New York hat in Boston, and I ain't fucking know. Like,
Yeah.
bitch, I'm from Texas. Like, it was fun.
I'm just warming my head, man. Shit.
And then Football
Football is a week bye week for Seattle.
Oh, I just missed the thing that we're supposed to do.
We get our rest for the week, and got some good games going on. Chiefs, Bengals for the Sunday nighter. That'll be a fun one.
Chiefs are getting that W.
Yeah, but it'll be a good shootout, though, I think. And, I don't know, there's not much going on. Let's talk about that show at Bad Bulldogs
Oh, that was good.
on Friday night.
I was just telling John, I don't think he caught it, but when Gabriel freaking stepped outside and called out Aaron for leaving.
Oh,
And
yeah.
like, hey, we never did it. Aaron walked out to leave, and he was like, Gabriel had like, first he was like, oh, shoots, he looked at his phone, and he was like, you guys want to do some more time? And everybody was like, yeah! And fucking, Aaron fucking left, and he was like, I'm pretty sure it was Aaron, and he was like, oh, shoots, you guys all clapped, and then that freaking dude, he's just like, fuck this, I'm out. And he's like, I got a mic. And so he walks outside, and he's like, hey, dude, where you going? You can hear him on the speaker. And he's like, he said, you're leaving? And I guess Aaron was like, yeah. And you can hear him go, oh, okay. And and he walks in. And he goes, that didn't go as well as I thought at all. He was like, that dude, like, he was ready to rip my head off. Like, he threw his, yep. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, he's definitely not somebody to push buttons.
That shit was very funny to me.
Yeah, well, Gabriel, man, he's so good to watch. I mean, that's why I was only, I understand that sometimes the other local comics, they have other things going on, work, other mics, whatever, but man, I feel like when a heavy hitter comes like that to Bremerton, you got to make a priority to come see him, because you can learn, as a student of comedy, you can learn from watching him so much.
Yeah.
He's that good. Like, I woke up this morning rethinking my entire last 6 years of material. I mean, it's just ridiculous. And it's not a bad thing to rethink that. It just makes you want to work harder to fine-tune your shit, And that's what I love about having the wireless mic at these shows with these comedians. It just gives them that freedom, to do stuff, which is really cool. But yeah, it was a great show, a good turnout. Randall did a good job working the door, which is really cool. I don't usually have a whole lot of people do the door for me. Lori's the only other one. And usually it just comes down to trust. Trust who can do it right and not make people go away.
Oh, yeah.
But it was fun.
That was the first time I played guitar in a few
After your
weeks.
rollerblade accident?
Yeah, after my rollerblading accident.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You held up pretty good, I thought.
Well,
Sounded good.
know.
I mean, just by the
I want to
naked
take some
ear.
more time off.
Naked ear, you couldn't tell a whole lot.
Yeah. I think the Percocet was really kicking in.
But I think next time you play, I want to bring that little drum thing and sit next to you and try to whack on that when you're playing.
Yeah, man. Whack on the cajon.
Yeah.
All right. Well, what do you got coming up?
This Tuesday, Alex Elkin is going to be at All Star Lanes.
Oh, good.
We're going to do a fundraiser for the Kids at Humane Society, so it's a free show to get in. We're just
Nice.
taking donations. Try to raise a little bit of money for them. They got a big renovation. They just took on that huge Chico neglect case where they brought in dozens of animals and they only got 2 left to rehome, which is really cool. The community really pulled together and helped adopt those dogs, and they're just putting in some good work down there at the Humane Society, so we're just trying to raise money for them. And then Friday, Alex Elkin is coming to Dog Days. So Tuesday at All Star, Friday at Dog Days, and that's going to be a good show as well.
Cool.
So 7 p.m. on both.
Sounds good.
Yeah, that's
I
it.
want to go to that.
And then I'll probably freeze during the winter and try to figure out what to do from there.
All right. Well, we'll try to come up with a better schedule for next week's podcast.
Yeah. Well, we can work it. I think the winter is going to make it so we have more time freed up to do whatever we want. So
Yeah.
we'll see. All right, take
All
it
right.
easy.
Have a nice week.